Hey, Brave Awakened ones, what's up? QV here. It is the 4th of December, 2020. Woohoo! We're almost there. Disclaimer. Maybe I should have warned you guys a little bit before we started doing this. Let's get there. Before we started doing this, grounding in that timeline. This is our last ditch effort to ground in this higher golden new age timeline, to anchor it in, that is, so we can make that jump on the 21st of December 2020 and be the first ones over there and pave the way for the rest of humanity to join us. Okay, so we completed the November 30th, the full moon lunar eclipse, part 1. Part 2, December 14th. You do it during the hours of the new moon solar eclipse. All right. Again, go according to your time zone. And then it's December 20th, the final and big one, where I was told, though made it very explicitly clear, it must be done after sunset, at sunset or after sunset, before midnight, before the 21st hits. That is when we do it. This meditation, again, go according to your time zone. But what I was planning on doing, that's if the internet is still up, is for all of us to do this together, the one on the 20th. And it would be according to my time zone. So we would do it after sunset according to my time zone. And you could repeat it according to your time zone if you wish, but I'd like for all of us to join in together on December 20th. That's if I'm still on the internet. That's if YouTube is still up. Okay? So, yeah. And of course, here are all the steps laid out for you, real easy and nice. All right. Now, I posted early this morning what I went through last night, and it's starting up again. It started up 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It hit me yesterday afternoon at work, at my job, and working in surgery at a hospital. The most intense headache I've ever felt. And I'm talking in a good 16 years. This headache was just, it was ridiculous. I could not see. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to go into surgery to sedate a patient. WTF. And to make it even worse, one of the surgical techs went home sick, so the director of the department took his spot. So she was there. Are you okay? You know, you got me a little worried here. What are you doing? That's not the patient's name. Child, it just, doing this, I have to have a talk with God, because doing this in between world thing, it's just not working out for me. And not only that, had a little chat with the director today, and found out her idea of my job description is very different from what I thought my job description was. So I will no longer be going back there. Any which ways. So I was hit with that crazy headache, seeing sparks. And then by the time I got home, the Kundalini energy was almost unbearable. It was crazy. Not that it was painful. The headache was subsiding. It was like dull, but it was still there. It only hits me on this side of the head. But it's like the pressure's so intense, like my eye physically, you guys seen my eye start to droop, but it's like you literally saw my eye bulging. It was crazy. But the Kundalini energy was just, I felt my root area, where my root chakra is, just vibrating intensely, like I was sitting on top of a bad washing machine. So it was just vibrating like crazy, and it was going up to my crown chakra, which I can barely touch right now because it's so tender, up and down my spine, and just vibrating, and you could feel it vortexing up and vortexing down. It was in freaking insane. I was in that state for hours. I laid down at 9. No, it was 8. It was 8 something. When I laid down, I didn't get up until 11:45. And it was a text from my son that woke me up. And then during those hours, I was like, what is going on? Is this bad? Is this good? And then I heard my oversoul tell me that it is the Shrim Brazi energy, which is the sound, the vibration that goes along with Mata Lakshmi, and it's also tied in with Lord Ganesh. And the Shrim Brazi energy and vibration is the sound of prosperity. And it was being grounded in through me and others for the new golden age, for myself and others. And we would be the first to prosper from it because we're serving as conduits. And it was like this joyous event. Like I heard the angels sing. I mean, the masters and the angels singing. I mean, it was this joyous event. Well, I'm just like going, ugh. I'm like, glad you guys are happy. But it was this incredibly joyous event, and they were laughing and happy and celebrating what I was going through. I was like, okay. So I just, went through it, and then spoke to my son for a few hours. And he was telling me how at his new job, it's like, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this, but at his new job, it's like he's in two completely different worlds with his coworkers, and his energy completely affects everyone around him. I'm like, yeah, and I was, verifying that for him. I was like, yeah, man, that's what I go through. It's like, if anyone understands, child psychology, or even if you have toddlers or been around toddlers, it's called parallel playing. You're in this, you see the two toddlers playing, they're sitting next to each other, but they're not playing, they're not engaging with each other. That's what parallel playing is. They're both sitting there playing blocks, but they're not sharing, they're not engaging, their energies are not mixing. That's what he said he felt. Like it was just this void he was in, but he was surrounded by people. And I've been feeling that since I haven't been working a 3D job for a couple of years. So going back there, because I don't consider my business and teaching a 3D job, because it's mine, and the people come in there are higher vibrating, even though they're, conventional medical people. But to be in there and to be underneath some tyrant, some 3D tyrant, it was, again, that void. I felt that complete void, like I'm in this bubble, and these wah. And he says that, he goes, sounds like Charlie Brown. Everyone just sounds like wah. And that's exactly what they sound to me too. I'm like, bro, that's it. We're in this high vibe bubble, and we're surrounded still in the 3D. So we're straddling these two realms, and it's exhausting. He's like, I can't take it anymore. I said, bro, neither can I. Especially since I'm serving as a main grounder, a main grounding rod. It's getting to be a bit much. It really, it's a lot. And around 7, I started getting vortexy. I was just like, I had to wait till I stopped spinning so I could start doing this video. So I want to show you guys what I think is connected to what so many of us experienced yesterday, and we're going to continue to experience today. And moving forward, we are serving as conduits for this energy, just like we did for the Christos energy. And, big ups to Paul Butler, who joined in and did part 1 of the meditation, and he's also doing it with his his group. You know, he's a forerunner. He's going to be doing his people. They're going to be doing the whole thing also. So this is mighty powerful. And I'm so honored, you know, that Master Paul would do this. I think it's so cool. So I always join in as many of his meditations as I possibly can. It'd be a great idea for you guys to also and show him some love and support. So yeah, I'm going to play this little bit here from Wage's World. He'd mentioned me in the past also. So to give an explanation of what we have been experiencing, starting to do the final grounding of this timeline. And yes, your spine will hurt. My spine, I mean, I'm fine now, but when it was finished, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. It was just, I felt every vertebrae. It was crazy. I was like, what the? It was just nuts. And it went away. It just went away. I was guided to take a cool shower, and I felt the extra energy leaving. Then my spine was fine. Haven't had a headache all day. Got home. It was waiting for me to come home. Then all of a sudden I saw it swim. I was like, oh, shoot, here we go again. But it is what it is. I fully surrender to serving as a divine conduit to ground in this new golden age energy. So here we go. I'm going to play this little bit to give you guys an idea of what's going on with the energy. And then we're going to look at the Schumann, which is like mind-blowing. Here we go.
Higher speed, okay? The sun's off to the left for people that don't know. So watch what happens here. Okay, we start to expand out. What's happening is we're starting to sense this stuff coming. Our electromagnetic field is actually starting to react before we can see it on this graph. Okay? And it makes it seem as if we're pushing forward before anything hits us, and that's not really what's happening. Okay? So we keep moving, and see, shortly after we started moving forward, we get hit with that, right? Then it does it really just does this stuff. That's pretty chaotic. Now, we've seen it like this before. I'm not going to say we haven't, but this is definitely not what we typically see. This is really kind of strange, and this is why you got me talking about this. You hear me talking about this. This is really, really strange. Usually when we see stuff like this, the geomagnetism is elevated, sometimes even the storm level. So
I'm going to cut them off right there. So this mystery energy is coming in, and it's having a serious effect on us, as you guys could see, on the planet. But here's why he's like, what's going on? Look how quiet this is. You would expect it to be like in storm level. You know, you'd expect the KP index to be above 5. We've been flatlined, dead. But where's this mystery energy coming from? It's not showing up anywhere. And it's not, I mean, we had a couple in the past few days, we had a couple of CMEs. The bigger CME has not, here's one that blew off on the back end over here. Okay, and there's another one that's going to clip us, but that's not explaining what is going on. See, there you go, right there. Bam, that was on the first. And then there's another one on the third that comes off. Boom, there's the one on the third, okay? Yesterday. So yeah, we feel that as light workers, big time. Those of us who are there, who are dealing, you know, who serve as conduits. We all do, all light workers. That's why we're light workers, quote unquote. We all serve as conduits, but we serve to different degrees, okay? I'm extremely connected to the central sun and our sun, and I serve as a serious portal for this energy, which is too late for me to rethink my commitment. Let's put it that way. But as you can see, yeah, you would think all this would be heightened up, but it's not. And it's not solar wind coming in. We have, it's like we have this small, it's this weird, slender, elongated coronal hull coming around but that's not going to come around for next couple of days. So it's like, where is that energy coming from, right? It's a mystery.
Let's see here. Let's look at the timestamp on that. That's at 9:20. One capture later, it looks like that. That's at 9:21. So there was no missing time. And then that's at 9:22. No missing time, and we go from that to that in 1 minute, and then that to that in the next minute. Yeah. And then look at that. Now, I'm not sure what to think about this one. You know, we do kind of look like we get some energy there in the front, but not much. And watch what happens. We're really pushing out really, really far. Okay, and then you can kind of see it push back. See
That's
that?
our magnetic field reacting, by the way.
And that's where we're at currently. So as I'm making this video right now, it's about 5 Eastern time in the morning. This is what we got. So let's look at it on the density. Okay, same kind of thing. The white is low density. The darker blues are the higher dense particles. See, not only are we pushing out, we're pushing in all directions. Watch. See that? Even before this energy gets here, we're starting to push out on the sides. And the energy is coming from the sun. Look at that. That's very, very low dense particles. That's almost solid white. Looks like an insane asylum. And then look what happens after that. Wham, we get a dense hit. Okay, we got that happened on this one too. See that? And then that. 1 minute apart. We're not missing time. That's usually what we see when we see missing time. That to that. But that's not what we're seeing. And then again, see? Notice how we kind of did this little open number here in the front again too. See how far we've tilted? Look at that. So I'm not quite sure what to think about this right now, okay? I'm going to, do some more digging and see what's going on with this, but this is the pressure. This one here is actually kind of impressive also. Okay?
All right, guys. So go to Wages World and watch this entire video. But it coordinates very well with what we're experiencing. And it's only going to get more intense. We all know this. Brace yourselves. I know it's really difficult taking care of kids, taking care of family, working a 3D job, and doing your light work or light warrior job. It's especially when you're in between the two, doing both. It's rough. It's really rough. Give yourself credit. Now here's the Schumann. I don't know why they switched. I liked it the other way, but Schumann resonance today off the scales. It's completely off the scales. It is off the charts. Off the charts. Past 100. And look how long it lasts. It was over here like pushing almost 45. Off the scales. It went off the scales. Power 500. I mean, it went off the dang scales. Where's another one? Scroll further down. I think there's more down here with the Schumann. Again, past 100. Look at this. Off the scales. This is what we're dealing with, people. This energy. It's just like the Christos energy. Remember that? The humongous whiteout of the Christos energy? well, this is going to be even more intense. I really wanted to share this with you guys because I want to show you just how physical this is. And there's a scientific proof. It's in your face. This is very physical. It's bringing the unseen into the scene. It's merging. It's manifesting. I'm sorry, not, oh, it's really starting to get to me. I was hoping to get through this before it got worse. It's bringing the unseen into the scene. We did all that work in the ethereal in 2019. That's what all that work was about for myself and for a lot of other forerunners, who had their teams they were working with. And now it's time for it to be birthed into the physical. So it's going to be more intense on us. And it may not look great. Birth is messy. Yes, those of us who've given birth understand that. Those of us who've witnessed it understand that. Birth is really messy. It is extremely painful. It looks like a horror show afterwards. It really does. A bloody mess, right? So yeah, so it's gonna get mighty ugly. But then we're celebrating all of that because we know what we're birthing. We know what's coming forth through all that pain, through all that anguish, through all that screaming and crying. Okay? We know what's being birthed. We just got to pull through it. We just got to pull through it. Again, we can't afford to miss this. We can't afford to miss this time. We can't afford to miss it. This is it. This is the time for us to bring this forth, to land this baby. It's time for us to land it because, I ain't coming back here. Okay? Not doing this again. Time for us to land this, and I ain't having it. We all suffered too much, and even if you're single and don't have any children or anything like that, think of those people like a Chris Cornell who laid everything on the line. I think about him all the time. I really do, because I was such a huge fan. And, I think about, God, why do I keep forgetting his name? Linkin Park, the lead singer of Linkin Park, the lead guy in Linkin Park. I think about him. I think about Kate Spade, who used to be my favorite designer, who was hung. I think about suicided. I think about Bernie Mac, who was a huge favorite of mine. I really admired this guy. These people, they put their lives on the line. It wasn't just a career thing. They knew what they were doing was going to cause them to be suicided. They laid it out there. And if anything, I'm like, I'm not going to let those guys down. Guys and gals, I'm not going to let them down. They sacrificed everything. So I'm doing this for them as much as I'm doing this for me, as much as I'm doing this for my children, as much as I'm doing this for all the children in the world. I'm not going to let them down. I'm not going to let them down. When I think of those guys who laid, and many unnamed heroes, many unsung and unnamed heroes who lost their lives to bring this about. So, it's, yeah, we feel down, we get depressed, and we're like, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. You start feeling very depressed and just, you want to get off this planet, get me off of this ship, this crazy freaking roller coaster ride. But then I think of them, and it's like, nah, man, if I would choose to leave, that would like undo their work, and it would undo my work. It would undo your work. Think of it that way. So I'm seeing this to the end, no matter what the end brings to me. I have no fear in that. Whatever. If I have to take up arms, I take up arms. It is what it is. This is it. U.S. falls, the world falls. We can't let that happen. And it doesn't matter if you're across the oceans in Japan. Okay? Shout out to my girl out there. Or Indonesia or in India or all the way up in Iceland, in Africa. It doesn't matter where you are, South America, Canada, the Caribbean. We're all in this together. Okay? And this is the last stand. And if we give up, it's like, to me, it's disrespecting the sacrifice of the ones that lost everything, including their lives, in horrible ways. Okay? Yeah, that's how I feel about it. All right, QV out, guys. Much love. We got this. We got this.